This is a review of a book, Caruana, Move by Move, written by Cyrus Lakdawala. This book contains about 60 between games and fragments, which means position that the author found interesting. The book is based on some chapters that are divided in the following orders, like you can see here, or maybe you can't. Caruana on the attack, Caruana on defense and counter-attack, Caruana on dynamic elements, Caruana on exploiting imbalances, Caruana on accumulating advantages, Caruana in the endgame. Caruana has obviously maybe achieved his climax, I think, in 2018 when he won the candidates and became a world challenger. He wasn't able to win Carlsen, like probably nobody else is still at the moment. And so, obviously, it's over. Because if you don't beat Carlsen, how can you call yourself world champion? In any case, why do we buy a book like this one? Honestly, for watching the games. Why watching the games, you say? Because through watching many games, you learn how to think in chess, what is important, especially when the author blocks the game in some moments and asks you a question. I will do the same in this review. I will tell you to stop the video, pause the video, and ask you a question. If you care to improve, you do it. If you don't care, you just enjoy the game, and that's it. But there is surely a way to improve in chess which is based on putting yourself out there. Try to be active instead of passive. So if we just read the game, we are not going to learn anything. I will show game 25 between Karyakin and Caruana, played in 2012 at Sao Paulo, Bilbao. E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, bishop B5, A6, bishop A4, knight F6, castle, B5, bishop E3, bishop C5. Here there is a comment by the author that says this is the molar variation of the Ruy Lopez. The C5 square, which is this, is a more aggressive placement for the bishop than E7. This is E7, okay? So this is more aggressive in a close Ruy Lopez. The downside is that it allows white a tempo gaining with C3 and D4. Alternatively, 6 bishop B7 is the Archangel's variation. Okay, maybe it was enough to say is the Archangel's variation. So there is a little mistake, to which we later transpose. How does it continue? Like I said, with C3. So this C3, for example, and this is the reason why you need to watch many games, you will find this move typical also in the Italian game, and so you start to get a feeling for when to play some moves. Because as human beings, we are not computers, and sometimes in the opening there is not much to attack, okay? But of course, you can also ask yourself some questions. For example, why didn't I play this? You see, because this is the problem. When I watch a book, often the author is a kind of a very advanced player, an international master in this case. and it doesn't cover a silly question. Maybe this is silly, maybe not. Why? Because knight takes e5, right? Oops, d4. So why white didn't play that? Again, you need to put yourself out there. You need to be active, not passive. You need to understand why some moves are not played. You need to ask yourself some questions. Uh, the book does that, however. Okay, this book does that. It's a fact. So it's surely a way to improve. So on 7c3, it says white has no need to protect e4. So it seems that if black plays knight takes e4, it's not a good move, right? d6, and here there is a comment by the author that says knight takes e4 is unwise. Why? Pause the video, try to find it out. If you don't want to find it out, the author gives a line with queen e2. I don't give you the lines because I find it kind of boring, and I find also that you need again to do your homework. Okay, so before I forget, this was the move played: d6, d4, bishop b6, bishop e3, castle. Once more, we are in this position. Instead of castle, please pause the video and try to tell me why knight takes e4 is not a good move. Why this move is wrong. If you don't know, uh, which is very easy to find out, please buy the book or use an engine. But you see, this is the problem with engine. That you continue to use the engine and you're not thinking instead of thinking for yourself. Okay? So please try to find out why knight takes e4 is a very wrong move. However, after castle, white defends e4 with knight d2, bishop b7. Here it shows another game by Caruana, which was played with h6 against Anand. So also that is a valuable information that you take from this book. Rook e1, e takes d4. And here there is a diagram. Generally, when an author puts a diagram, there is a reason. Here it says, question, why would black voluntarily cede control over the center by swapping a central pawn for a wing pawn? Okay, so the answer is threefold in a sense. And you will get it if you buy the book, or I can read it to you. The answer is, by granting white greater central control, black receives two benefits in return. White's e4 pawn suddenly becomes a target with black e-file. Okay? Open, since rook e8 is now available. 2. Black can create an opposing wing majority's position after knight a5 and c5, or night before as it was played in the game. And then it says also another thing, however. Here it says that instead of e takes d4, and this is the fourth answer, this is more safe and the more popular option in this position. Okay? So here you have it. So it takes d4 and knight b4. And here it says, according to Grandmaster Mikhail Golubev, this idea was an experiment developed in email games. The computer loves the move, and so far black scores over 50% with it. The idea is threefold. By moving the knight to b4, white's e-pawn comes under attack. Black worries white with knight d3 tricks. Fourth, king the e1 rook and b2 pawn, yeah, obviously. Black clears the way for c7, c5. This is true. Generally, they tell us to develop the knights first, but the knights block the pawn. So in e2, there are other options for white, which are analyzed in the book. c5, a3. Now, in the book is explained that d5 is not a good move for white, and it gives a reason why, a line why, okay? Knight c6. And here it says that the move c takes d4 wasn't a good idea. Why? Because after you have an isolated pawn here, and it seems it's not a good thing for black. But again, discover it by yourself. Eventually, you can watch these games also on a computer instead of a chessboard, and you can play some positions against the engine to understand why it's not a good idea. So that because an isolated pawn maybe takes some time to see why it's not a good idea to have it, and the engine has a good technique which will show you why. Okay, d5. And here there is another line with this taken by a correspondence game. So today correspondence games, which were the one once played with real postcards, are played by computers. Generally the ICCF allows everyone to use an engine. So the stronger your engine and your machine, and the stronger you are as player. 97. H4. White doesn't want to be bothered by knight g4. Okay? And if the bishop moves, then c5, c4 as a double attack. So he says he doesn't want black to play this because once this move, if this is not here, this is a big problem for white. Okay? Rook e8, bishop c2. The bishop was obviously blocked by this pawn, so it's useless to have it here, right? You need to have it in a place where eventually you can create an attack. Knight b6 and b3. Here there is a diagram, okay? And it says the idea is to prevent black from activating this inside pawn majority with c5, c4. White's move comes at a cost, as it weakens the c3 square, which Caruana is quick to exploit with his reply. Now, it's your turn, right? So pause the video, you are black, try to find the move Caruana played. Bishop a5, exclamation point. Black's dark square bishop is reactivated on the a5, e1 diagonal. Rook a b1, intending b3, b4, and here there is a line. Bishop c3, obviously it doesn't want to lose this good bishop. Caruana doesn't give Kariakin time to shut his bishop out with b3, b4. The opening has gone well for black, who stands at least even, since he has a grip over the central dark squares. Rook e c1, b4. And here Kariakin played a4. It seems the computer prefers to take and keep the position open. a4, it seems, is not a good idea. a5, bishop d3. White has control over the c4 square, but it does him surprisingly little good. h6. And now Caruana played, not Caruana, sorry, Kariakin played a wrong move, queen d1. If you want to try to find the correct move for the computer, the correct move is queen f1. In this position, where white has played queen d1, the author asked exercise playing. With this last move, Kariakin logically removed his queen from a vulnerable spot, e2, which faced black's e8 rook. In doing so, his queen went to the wrong square, allowing Caruana to initiate a powerful plan. How should black respond? So here you can pause the video and try to find the plan for yourself. Because you see, this is the problem. Everybody today is supporting rapid games or blitz games, but in order to create a plan, you need time to think. Okay, you need to understand the position, have time to think, and try to find it out. What would you play in this situation? Okay. The plan that Caruana came with is bishop a6. Answer, swap off like square bishops, after which white's e4 pawn will be chronically weak. If white slides his bishop back to c2, then black's ac bishops cuts through, okay, with diagonal, and forces the pieces to trip over each other. Bishop c2. This leads to a nightmarish passivity in white's camp. The trouble is that swapping will eventually lose the e-pawn. So let's see one thing that I hope you remember. This move is possible because Kariakin played queen d1. If he played queen f1, it wouldn't be possible. So that's why this was the wrong move. And that's why you need to think and have time to think when you play your moves, right? So that's all there is. Bishop c2. Now, what do you play as black? Try to find black's move. So pause the video and find it. So a7, very good move. Even with white's light square bishop still on the board, the e4 pawn remains weak. So this is the plan. Bring this rook into the game and continue the relentless attack on e4. King h2, rook a e7. White's next move is desperate, but it is hard to suggest any useful ideas. g4. So as you can see already from watching this game, from this book, we learn how to double the rooks, how to take control of the diagonal, how to improve our pieces and make them stronger. So clearly there are a lot of possibilities thanks to reading a chess book. Now, notice that it seems the computer suggested this move. The computers are amazing, so that's a very interesting thing. In any case, exercise planning. In this position, Caruana now found a powerful idea which increases his advantage further. What did he play? Try to find the right move for Caruana. You are black. Ready? Knight takes e4. Boom. Answer, strategic exchange sacrifice. So we learn about exchange sacrifice. Caruana has conducted the game brilliantly from a strategic standpoint, and I thought about putting this game into the accumulating advantages chapter of the book. However, Caruana's power finish persuaded me to place it in the dynamic element chapter instead. This powerful exchange for a pawn sacrifice gravely weakens white on the light squares and endangers his king. Knight takes e4. This is the real exchange sacrifice. Okay? Rook takes e4. Bishop takes e4. Rook takes e4. Many of the games played by Petrosian, I think the ninth world champion, show this kind of exchange sacrifices. So it can be useful also to have a book about these games. Now, let's assess the aftermath of Caruana's sacrifice. 1. Technically, white is likely ahead on material, being the exchange up. White's structure is leaky, with potential holes on h4 and f4. Hole, okay? White's pawn on g4 may also mean that black can loosen things up with future f7, e5, or f6, h5 break. So we also learn about breaks. The presence of number 2 on the list automatically means that white king is in danger. So white's d5 pawn is weak. Now we have Isolani here, no? Isolated pawn. And vulnerable. So also here you could make a plan, which is bishop b7, e7, okay? And attack. And of course queen e8, etc. Or queen e8, etc. Black owns the bishop pair. White's light square looks fatally weak because it doesn't have anymore the light square bishop. The conclusion? White is strategically busted. That's why chess is a strategic game. Because here, also if the advantage, the material advantage, is for white, in reality white has lost the game. Let's see how it continues. Rook c2, queen e7, rook g1. He tries to create an attack on this. The computer wanted to play rook e1. And now again, please pause the video and do this exercise plan. What is black's most promising plan? Try to find it out. I think it's quite interesting. Because you see, when you are a beginner, you are afraid to give up material and you don't understand that it doesn't matter. In chess, the important thing is to give checkmate. To give checkmate, you need to go near the king and kill it. But if you cannot go near the king, just because you are afraid to give material, when are you going to win? So black continues with rook takes e3. Boom. This second sacrifice of an exchange for a pawn rips open the white king cover. F takes e3. King takes e3. So now we understood why Caruana played king e7. Rook b f1. As you can see, white is trying to bring all his forces on the king side. But the problem is this, okay? The bishop pair is really something strong and dangerous, okay? Obviously here it's begging black to take the rook, no? But black is not stupid, right? So what do you think black plays? Boom! Bishop e2. Another attacker just joined the team. It's never a good sign when, in desperation, we offer our opponent an exchange. and he declines it with a sniff of contempt, since its minor piece is way better than our usual food. And this is also what we learn watching these games. The author of the book has selected some games that have teaching value because he is a very expert player. Here is teaching you that this that should be free is more valuable than this that is five. This is what I taught to my student. I said, look, this is $3 and this is $5. Which of the two will you take? Obviously, you would do this, no? But in some cases, depending on the position, this is worth more than $3. And this is worth less than 5. So you don't want to exchange it. That's why, again, chess is a strategic game, because in some moments you have to make some decisions that are not clear, and that can only be clear at the end. Queen f5, and here there was a line with queen c1, trying to exchange the queens, bishop b3, winning. Even more efficient was knight h4. Okay, you see here. So bishop d3, queen d7, and now bishop e5. It seems that there was another move, queen e2. Try to find out which of the two do you think is stronger. So bishop e5, king h1. And here obviously you needed to find out why knight takes e5 wouldn't save the game. So what is my advice? Do your homework, buy the book, and you will know why. Bishop e4. Now you understand why the power of this bishop is immense compared to the rooks. Queen e8. And now knight f8, and white resign. So you say, why? Why did white resign? And this I will show it to you, okay? But you could take a moment and pause the video and try to find out why. Because after king g2, queen e2, rook f2, there is a checkmate. Can you see the checkmate? Bishop takes f3, checkmate. I hope you enjoyed the game. If you don't mind, try to get the book so you can enjoy all the other games. Like I show you, pausing at the right moment will help you to improve your chess. I wish you good luck in your chess journey.